Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome to the fifth part of the creative process of Glacial Storm 4. Um, I'm gonna have to be real quick here for the drums because it's 10:30 p.m. and I wake up early to work. I also have to be a lot quieter because my girl's asleep, so can't make too much noise. All right, so today we're going to talk about exclusively the drums and the beats that I use. So the plugin that I used for the drums is none other than Superior Drummer 3. Definitely one of the best plugins for drum sounds in any way that you want them. These are really good for if you want to program drums for metal, for rock, for anything virtually. And I used it on a few metal tracks that I wrote, which I never know when I'm going to release it to the public. So, but that's not the focus here. We're gonna talk about the drums for Glacial Storm. So, with Superior Drummer, you have kind of a lot of defaults here. The drum kits that I use, the drum kit that I use here was one of the presets that you get from Superior Drummer, but you have to buy it, I guess. It's Pearl Masterworks, and it sounds really good, and it was pretty much what I was going for sound-wise. It's also the drums that I use for a variety of many other things related to drums. So yeah, this was my first option, and that's what I used in the end. I don't think that I changed any of it, but oh, I really need a hotkey to mute my mic because oh well, I can just click it, I guess, because the sound's all messed up in the end of the video. So yeah, we're gonna talk exclusively about drums. So yeah, regarding the plugin, that's what I used. No big secret there. So let's go into how I program drums. I know there are 1,000 ways to program drums, but this is the only one that I know, and it's the only one that works for me. I write it all just like any other FL Studio solo by dragging the notes. I know there are some pre-recorded beats that you can alter them later, but I don't like to do that. I like to write each and every note for that. So okay, let's see what we have here. Here's the first part of the song. We have this cheeky little thing here to introduce the band, so to speak. Wait, muting the mic. Alright, I found a quick way to mute the mic. It's really not efficient, but anyway. So let's talk a bit about how I program drums. For Superior Drummer 2, I changed all the level of the notes, but with Superior Drummer 3, I figured that it sounds better when all the notes that you are really playing, if you keep them at the full velocity here. So yeah, that's why most of them are really high in velocity here, which is basically the volume or how hard you hit the drums. This motion is not cool, except when you're doing like some rolls like this, that I try to go with a lower velocity or with a too fast double bass work. For the rest of it, these are ghost notes, which are fundamental for drums. If you write a drum beat without ghost notes, it's probably gonna sound too bland, you know. It's not gonna sound juicy at all. At least for me, I feel the need for a lot of ghost notes, but that's probably because I listen to a lot of progressive music. Okay, so yeah, that's how I program drums. You just collect the notes here that you want, mess around with the velocity, listen back to it, add some ghost notes in places, try to air drum the shit out of it, and that's how you come up with some great drum parts, honesty aside. So yeah, let's move on to the next part. Oh my god, sorry, I'm so sleepy right now. Okay, it together with the whole piece sounds like this. So yeah, it ends with this nice little messed it up. Well, these beats are just gold. It's kind of cool vibe for continuing the part later, right? For the drum verse in this part in particular, intro patterns, I try to make them follow the rhythm here in the intro. So you see it's pretty simple. It has almost no ghost notes because it did not require. So I'll let you guys listen to it with the intro rhythm. Sounds cool, right? So yeah, no big secrets for that part. For the vortex chorus part, again, I try to follow the lead part a lot here. So first, I will show you how it sounds with the lead. So, okay, here's how it sounds without any of the lead. And of course, when you're writing, when you're programming drums, you have to try and visualize if that sound is possible to be made by a real drummer, you know, so you don't hit like 4 notes at once, because that's not gonna happen. So yeah, try to stay as realistic as possible. You just need to listen to it and see, okay, that kind of sounds like a real person playing. That's what you need to go for, pretty much. Okay. And my favorite part, one of my favorite parts, is for the vortex chorus variation, because if you remember, it goes something like this. Again, I tried as much to follow the lead sound, which is why we have this, as you can see here. My voice is not so good today, so forgive me for that. Without my interruption, here's how it sounds. what I'm doing with the hi-hat here is that I'm opening and closing it every other beat. So here's it, you strike it with the drumstick, it open, and then this note right here you close it with your left foot, which is why all of those, with no exception, matches with bass pedal, because a real drummer can't do can keep opening and closing the hi-hat while doing double bass. So I try to fit in it with the double bass so it's possible to hit both. I know it's possible because Marco Miniman does that, so it's not impossible. So yeah, it kind of creates this cool sound. If you check the Superior Drummer plugin, it shows the hi-hat opening and closing. Watch this. So yeah, it also has a lot of ghost notes to give this kind of a juicy feeling to the part. So yeah, that's it for this part. God, I really need to sleep. So for this part, I just use the same pattern, exact the same pattern for the drum intro. So now the drums variation, which follow the cool sound, which goes like this. Again, I try to follow the lead. So what came here is the part okay. So the result is this. Oh, by the way, you see that no ghost notes kind of has to be. I kind of wanted it to be like a really hard part, so like the drummer's smashing the drums real hard. So that's why everything is in full velocity here. Sounds pretty cool, right? So, okay, Vortex chorus again. Final drum part for the intro, which again, guess what? Follows the lead. So, if I remember correctly, here you have so yeah, then a small drum roll, then this cool part to kind of give more excitement to the song, because you know, you go from this to what follows here. Sounds cool, right? If you do that with the full song. And then I finally ended with the drums doing, which is so yeah, again you follow the lead. Oh, this is the part I was talking about. Here's how it sounds without my annoying voice. So again, you see that I really like the closing and opening of the hi-hats. That's the sound I like. Really like the closing and opening of hi-hats doing like that in a sneaky way, so to speak. Alright, so we push forward to the main melody build. I follow the drums simply. This is something that resembles a lot of some of the prog songs that I listen to, like to start a calm part. I think BT Band does that a lot. But the hi-hat, the ride cymbal here just follows the low piano notes, no secret there, and then we end with the hi-hat like we're about to drop the metal part on the shit, so it can go full ape shit in the next section. Again, raising the volume down here as the song goes up. So because there's only the piano sound, so I kind of have to give more focus with the drums, you know. And then the very next note after this one is precisely you doing both crashes with a bass pedal. Alright, for the main glacial theme that follows that, again you start doing 2 crashes here with the bass pedal, and then it's just a very simple rhythm, just adding some no fancy hi-hat opening and closing, just straight pounding on the hi-hat, but with the feel ghost notes on the snare. And the part that follows that, I added some right here. I added some ride cymbal to kind of give more more feel to it, so to speak. So yeah, you see that I don't use the hi-hats at all here, except this part. I mainly use the ride. So how since the ride is actually really low in sound, in volume, I always use the main ride here, which is the general area of the cymbal. And but the part that I wanted to focus, like the tiny part above it, I don't know the names, I'm not a drummer, but you know the sound. It's kind of, so it kind of gives the sense that you're doing, and it creates a very cool sound to me, which is this one. Sounds pretty cool, to me at least. I don't know if it sounds cool to you, but I think it does, otherwise you would not be watching this video. So for the fast solo section, I tried as much to follow the solo, because this part is so specific that I kind of wanted the drum to be unique for this part, so it can like blend well with the melody. I didn't want to repeat sounds for this part specifically. So you probably remember fast solo section, the one with the devil taps. But so I'm only gonna show you how the drums look like and sound like alone. Sounds pretty cool, right? The only tricky part was to do this part, which has this dislocated note to fit these two dislocated notes, kind of, just to fit with the solo that's going on in the background. Kind of to get dum 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 dum. See what I was going for there? I hope you do. So again, we have the drums variation for the guitar variation. We repeat Vortex chorus 2. For the sneaky drums, which is when the melodies, the song starts to get interesting to me, which is the I try to do something really simple here and then move into the tom, and then kind of building the tension, because that kind of shape that you're doing this with the cymbal, then you just flip it to the toms with the snare and the bass drum, just kind of create a cool, exciting sound to me. And again, with this part in the end, I'm alternating with bass drums, but in the final mix it's too low to hear, but I kind of prefer it that way. So here's how it sounds without any other interruption. Alright, so we have this simple drum line for the evil theme. Since there's a lot of notes going on, I didn't want to trouble people with a lot of information in the drum part as well. So it's the most easy drum beat ever. Literally nothing else. And for the creepy drums, I have two sections for it because I was kind of not, I didn't have my mind made up to which sound that I wanted to have. So the second part I use it for the final part, for the chiasm part, which has the same background to it. So it's kind of like a mini solo. It's not even a solo, it's just kind of some fancy part that kind of gets more exciting here towards the end, and it follows the beat that you're supposed to be hearing with the song. So yeah, this is how the little part goes with everything, and then alone. It had more notes, but it was too polluted, so I removed them. Okay, sneaky drums again. Then we have this pre-cold solo thing going. Oh, it's not even a cold solo yet. I'm going ahead of myself. Pre-odd solo, which is the drum variation, I think. Yeah, it's a new one. So it kind of copies this first variation, but it has a lot more. It has one extra bass note, I guess, but with a lot more ghosting. So it gets really exciting because of that, and the hi-hats opening and closing, as you can see right here. Alright, so then we get to the odd drums, which again are not in 4/4, so the drums just had to do something that matches the kind of the riff feel that I wanted to have. And so to compensate for the extra um, beats that the time signature have, I just changed the focus around here as to which note I was heading on the snare, much like White Walls by Between the Bird and Me happens, and I added a small drum roll as well to compensate. Here's the result. Kind of lost myself there, but you can kind of see that it has a good vibe to it, even though it's not in a regular time signature. So we get past that, and we get to the gent drums. No big secret here. After the strumming solo ends, I have this leftover thing. So it kind of had to have that beginning, so I chose a drum roll because there aren't many drum rolls here. And then later I just kind of did a Meshuggah thing. Obviously Meshuggah, right? So here's how it sounds. So you might be wondering why it is not it's supposed to have 3 notes here if you're going to follow the strumming that you're doing. But I found that a drummer playing that will probably be too hard, so I just tried to keep it because it has the same vibe as long as you're doing the strumming on the guitar. You don't have to follow exactly the same. So yeah, this is how it goes forever. Alright, so we have the same variation here. For the chord solo, I just kept the same simple drum line that we have in the I think it's for the evil theme. Let me check back here. Yeah, it's the same simple drum line, because again, you're doing so many things with your hands playing, so I didn't want more information to confuse you. So yeah, same thing. And then we go back to the creepy drums part, the part 2, which I pretty much only inverted the triplets here. But anyway, here's how it sounds. And then we have a calm part without any drums. We come back to this rhythm drum variation, which already happened. Oh no, it did not happen yet. So for this next part, which is fuck, didn't mean to open YouTube right here. It's another variation that wasn't used so far, and it's made specially for this specific part, which I forgot how it called it in the chart. But I tried to use a lot more of a hi-hat in the first part, and then I after the first section I moved from the hi-hats to the the ride cymbal, and then after that I start blending some toms. Was it toms? Is it somebody called? Yes. Tapping some toms in it, and then the third part it go even more toms. So yeah, it gets great. It's kind of building up the tension by adding the toms and kind of having a lot of more of rudiments to it. So I'll let you enjoy the sound because it's really cool. It's kind of underappreciated in the mix. I give you that. Yeah, so yeah, that beat is really cool. I really enjoy it. And then after that we have the winter simple drums, which again use a lot more of the cymbals than in the other part of the song. And here's how it goes. It's pretty simple. So yeah, that part kind of do the double stroke thing on the cymbal, which Blake from Between the Bird and Me really likes. And then with the tap drums, I go a lot more simple without the closed cymbals. It's all open here, if I'm not mistaken. But other than that, it's virtually the same. Because I want to keep the same thing going. The drum build is for this winter prelude, the one that goes really high, and it's really not that much to it other than adding a lot of snares here to kind of build up the tension for the winter solo, which is again the most important part of the song. And then we finally arrive at the winter solo drums, which are repeated for all of those except for the drum finale, which we'll get to. But yeah, we're almost done here, thank God. So for the winter drums, this time I kind of wanted to continue the vibe of the close hi-hat, but again alternating it with the open one to kind of give a groovy thing to it. So yeah, here's how the winter solo drums are isolated. Definitely one of the best beats that I ever wrote. And then for the drum finale, which is the quad zigs part, I just went for the same with the open hi-hat, and then to end it, I just went with the you know, when you're going for the both of your crash drums to and pounding at the foot the bass pedal at the same time to end it, and then you kind of hold it. But I didn't know how to program that, so all I did was to lower the volume to kind of feel like I killed the sound a bit but still let it ring. And finally this is how the last drum line goes. Talking to myself there. So if you open it in mix and you see how important this part of the mixing is, which I'll talk about when the next and last video comes out, which is the mixing part, how important it is to have that. So you see right here You see, I kind of turned down the volume a bit before the end because I kind of wanted to give more focus to the quintics. So yeah, so at the end, you still feel that there's a drum pounding there, and you still hear the crash ringing after that, but it doesn't get in the way of the lead. And that's it for today. It's late as fuck. It's 11 p.m. I'm so fucked because I have to wake up early tomorrow. But okay, this was a nice video to do, and I still need to record the last one, which I don't know when I will do. But okay, I'll try not to go too out of schedule. But there's only the mixing to talk about. There's no I'm not a great mixer, so there won't be a lot to talk about. But drums were interesting, and I'm really proud of some of the beats that I did here. So yeah, please somebody FC Glacial Storm 4 already, so I can release the plus. So, but I thought it would be taken down within like 5 days, 1 week, but I've been proven wrong. Apparently the song is harder than I thought it would be, and I'm kind of glad of that. But you guys are going to get so fucked with the plus version. Anyway, FLP will be released next video, I guess. Yeah, probably will release the next video, which will be the last video of the making of Glacial Storm. I really hope somebody could make something useful out of this. I'm no expert in FL Studio. I do enjoy a lot of music. I've been a musician for 14 years already, I guess, 15 maybe. I don't even know anymore. So yeah, it's kind of fun to me that I have the opportunity to create a different kind of music that I'm accustomed to, because I'm not really into electronic music, but it's fun to do this kind of music for Guitar Hero, and I feel like it's another way to write cool riffs that I may use in the future for real songs. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one, which I don't know when that will be. So yeah, in the next one there will be the FLP, which I guess somebody would want to use it. See ya.